I just noticed it's been 16 months since I haven't interacted with another human being outside of home. Dan, I think it's been that long, yeah. Give or take. But perhaps, let's just say longer than that since I last hang out with someone. I guessing 3 years because of those four boys I've met. That is the only time that I had a social interaction with, especially beautiful men that I was around with. Again, not in a romantic, of course, nor sexual way, but more of a like a platonic point of view, right? I'm sorry, I'm so clinically depressed now. Having my head down and just been thinking and feeling guilty and just feeling a little lost. And I know this is the third video I've been uploading. I hope my planners you actually do understand of how I've been feeling. And by the way, if you have viewed my live stream, type any type a mushroom emoji again if you or have listened all the way to the end. I know you're gonna forget because this video is really long, but I can't help it. It's 4:31 in the morning, 14th of November on a Friday. Okay, name Boss Girlified about let's just say beauty centers and real friends on social media or whatnot. This is not only a boy issue, but a girl issue as well. It's just that the boy issue is much more common, right? Also, I did look at that video of the Chinese high school. It's a really good video by Nico Jackson. I've highly suggested for anyone that's Chinese, right? Or that's in Asia. It's a really, I seen, well, I want to say for the live stream tomorrow, but because it reminded me of how much I wish that I filmed some videos when I was in high school, especially a great classmate of mine named Olsi. And then there were some cute Mexican boys that, that they're hot for girlfriends, so to speak, right? Like, talk to me. I wish I had a video of it, but whatever. I mean, I have a couple images on another video that I did, right? About how it was for me back then, as proof, if you are curious. But I had to say this, I'm so isolated. I think it, like for me personally, because I'm an introvert, I do get drained when I'm around people for a while, especially since I have to mask as well. It's basically an autistic term for people that are on the spectrum that cannot really be their actual selves by, let's just say, faking off their reactions or their expressions. It's a little difficult, right? Let's just say I may look a little bit, quote, quirky. But the thing is, though, I act, quote, normal. Speak, changing my vocal tone, maybe my body language as well, so people won't notice. I'm pretty good at doing that. Because one of the things I give away, even though I'm sure a lot of people love earphones, right? And habit is when you're in public. I don't like to take them off, right? It actually makes sense. Again, it depends on the autistic person because there's a spectrum of us. Okay, but especially for the ones that might be low functioning, they like to wear bigger earphones, and maybe I don't know if that always has to do with our looks. That's a possibility. That's more like Down syndrome, but you can probably see our mannerisms, the way we talk. That we may hesitate to speak. It actually makes sense. I don't know, but I'm just so isolated. Also, I do miss my apartment so much that I want to move back. Just watching The Simpsons, watching Bob's Burgers, every evening, and maybe do some drawing and studying a language. I know it's not much because I don't work, and yes, you probably say, well, why don't you get a job? Well, especially in this generation of an issue that we're in currently, it won't be that easy. Otherwise, why there's so many people that are homeless, or I keep hearing about, oh yeah, AI taking over jobs, and the Donald Trump tariffs or whatever. I wouldn't care to hear all of those. Okay, it's not that simple. It's basically you trying to tell a homeless man, why can't you just buy a cheese pizza from Domino's that costs you $6? With what money? They don't have anything. They're homeless. And then you probably say, well, you know what? Yeah, you deserve to be homeless, and pointing fingers at them. And the next thing you know, they ended up killing themselves because of you. Right? And I just want to say this. It has been affecting me a lot. It has. Okay? It felt like I'm in a prison because I don't know when's the last time I did went for a walk is before we got evicted. Right? We've been living there for 6 years. We always pay our rent and whatnot. I love our house because even though it's not much, it feels good just to get out of the house, breath of fresh air. Sometimes I wonder how it's like just to see some cute Mexican men in a buggy, with their cool lights. They're probably going somewhere, maybe going for a hike or just hanging out. I would love to have that. Again, every now and then. Just not being rushed, right? I don't know how it's like talking to people, I guess. To basically share for experience, right? I am so terrible at when it comes to, I guess you could call it the mixed syndrome, that even though I met two wonderful people at Dollar Tree, which is a discount grocery store, it's okay if I have some water pretty quick. I'm sorry, I'm a little dehydrated. One, I've been for real. Also for Lamar from Louisiana, that's a viewer, a planner of mine. He's been going through a really difficult time because he's supposed to be paralyzed for life because of a car accident. He blamed himself, which he didn't do anything. And his mother may be dying. That's why he has to been around. I hope he's alright. I hope to put his belly Burma's beans. I hope he is. Maybe this is why I don't like to rely on people, because some natural disaster happens to them. I don't hear back from them ever again. I only have a few viewers a couple that go through cancer. I don't want to talk about it. Okay? I don't. And this was no one's mistake. It just, incidents like this happen. And it just sucks. I don't know how people can keep this up. Events happen. I mean, I'm used to it, but it does get tiring. This has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with me. The same way that my Siberian Husky, Elijah, that died of abdomen/testicular cancer, which I don't want to talk about again for a while. I like to bring that up. But just to actually meet with other people, right? I'm just so desperate that I just wanted to meet a boy that could just stretch or do the yoga thing on Instagram, because I find that attractive, even though I don't like to open my Instagram because, well, I just don't want to check any notifications, and I just don't want to be addicted. Technically I'm not really. Plus my phone still doesn't work because we can't get that, we can't afford it to get the charging port repaired. The phone is fine. It's just the charging it doesn't work, right? And I need a new plug too. But it just, man, the isolation is just, it's killing me. And it's 4:39 in the morning right now. What are my lucky times of the night in my Chinese zodiac order? I may just have to go on YouTube Shorts and ask someone, would you want to be a friend, an online friend? Even though that might be a bad idea, because, well, the only way you can probably do it is to talk to me on YouTube, because I don't like to go on Instagram unless I have the other one, but that's mostly for the men that, the fetish thing. But I don't mind talking to anyone on there. I don't know, okay? I don't know. I'm sorry, I feel guilty bringing it up, but what I'm trying to say is I feel so isolated. Especially in this generation of how we always look at a normal human function, but it can be really unhealthy. The same way if you may drink a little bit too much orange juice, because it can be harmful if you have too much vitamins, right? I always wonder how if you drink too much vitamins. I can look it up, even though the darn Google search doesn't work on my end, because I saw the old layout. I don't think they're ever going to fix it. But, and half of my viewers have that problem, so that's a relief. Another thing is that we tend to be just so rude towards others for no apparent reason online, just because of the way that they look or the way that they speak. It's not my mistake that my vocal cords, sound a little bit weak or not as, let's just say, high in vocab. And just, wanting to merely believe that someone's a freak just because they exist. Even though back then it wasn't great either because of the racism, homophobia, and not to mention how cigarette smoking is so encouraged. Yeah, just because it might be great in the 50s, well, for people of certain skin pigments, not really. And how homophobia is another thing, and the lack of technology, maybe medicine, right? But in this is like, let's just say, the virtual crisis era, or the AI virtual crisis, right? If I could just make that up, and it's all training. It really is. I again, I have not. Let's just say I have not interacted with anyone in over 16 months, as in a conversation. That's it. When I used to go to Dartry, even though I still get depressed, it feels good just to even having like a cute boy just opening a door for me, right? Like a cute boy opening a door for me. Well, just to give an example, right? Or just a kind elderly woman just opening the door. Or just talking to one of the workers at Dartry, and then they tell me, stay safe. Because even though I do stay safe, they always say that because, well, out of common courtesy, maybe because some of my size. I miss going for our walks. I like to burn out that energy. Yes, I'll still get lonely though, but it's not as bad as it is now. Yes, it was still bad. Yes, it was. But it's got much worse that I'm in brush my teeth, I think, 3 days now. I'm surprised my teeth hasn't been in any pain because I don't drink soda. Plus, well, I'm sorry. Okay, I miss going out of my house. And then for people to say, well, Dion, you gotta my glob, my MacBook just froze again. I'm basically on life support or MacBook support so badly that anything can happen about to my MacBook. I don't know how it's still surviving. Also, I guess I go by stress. If it sounds like it's not a cold, even though I don't. Maybe I don't know what's wrong with my nose. Maybe because I'm just so stressed out, and then I'm so depressed that I'm not functioning as well. And I do want to say that even if you're around family, or even if you're around pets, right? You could still be lonely. Well, check like anyone. But I guess because for me, I've always wanted to have like another human. Not just that's like my mother's boyfriend, my mother, or my older brother, right? Or our pups as well. Because especially whenever I am mature, I just hope it doesn't take too long when I'm on my own. I can interact with like another adult similar to me. That actually makes sense, right? And also, I know my mother said that she wanted to buy me new shoes eons ago, which is, I think, 2 months ago. That never happened because of how we were this low on money and whatnot. We are supposed to go to like DMV just to get me a state ID. Yeah, we've been struggling that much, right? Also, I know we're not going to be moving, of course. I don't want to move. The only thing I want to move back is to my old house. My apartment 260 that I like to keep bringing up. I'm sorry, I've just been so frustrated lately because I just want to get this out of my system, and I feel really awful that I've been posting a lot because I'm just thinking what can I, especially that darn YouTube channel that really offended me, the Just Roommates YouTube, because they got, yeah, I want to be honest, okay, I'm jealous of them because of how they get treated as trash. However, though, one thing I don't like, and not to mention, well, their viewers, especially mostly the women that want to sip them for being straight. That's nasty. Okay, it's us like you want to sip two gay guys. You want to sip a girl and a gay guy together. Well, you can't do that. I don't know. That's just me, right? Or it's like if like you're training how men that would treat women. If you have two female friends together and they're being seen as lesbians, that wouldn't be pretty either, right? No, 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 no. Absolutely not. At least that's how I see it. But let's just say that for them to say that YouTube is worse than motherhood, it's just so offensive to me. Especially if I work me hours, and well, I barely see my mother as it is. I barely talk to her, and it makes me feel awful that I'm not doing enough because my mother has worked so hard, just to keep us afloat, and I'm just sitting here not doing anything but just, oh, sorry about that, enjoying, well, kind of enjoying YouTube or whatever. I don't know, but I just want to just get this out of my system. Post this like the next day or so. I don't not know yet because I'm not sure if others can relate to what I've been feeling lately. But I just had to just get out of my system because of how much, I guess you could say, I'm starving for friendship. Well, I guess you could say, even though I was online, it's not the same as in person. Yes, it is good to talk to someone. We all should. And I know people say, well, you got to see a therapist. Well, one, they're too expensive. Two, it does work for everyone, especially since I had a couple in the past. And three, it just gets so repetitive hearing that. It just, I feel drained. I feel tired. Literally, I'm so depressed that I would just sleep on the floor. Also, it just bothers me so much that my airbag keeps being deflated. Just hearing that little noise it makes when it deflates every now and then. It just bothers me. I know I don't have much. I kind of feel that I run my own life, honestly. And I'm still trying to just figure out what's missing. I don't want to say the puzzle thing, right? From an autistic point of view, because I guess you could say sometimes I feel broken like a puzzle. But I know I'm still a human being like others on this earth, infinity, right? And beyond that purpose. I just want to just get this message out there. I know it's not much. I know that I'm not exciting to listen to. I know my channel doesn't do well. That's why I've been uploading so many videos, because I wanted to feel that I'm being heard. But I know that a lot of people, they don't want to hear me speak, which is why my videos don't get viewed. And I understand. I wanted to keep trying. But yes, I'm so drained. I do feel suicidal, at least at the moment here. I don't know. I just feel that there's like no hope, right? It actually makes sense. And I don't know, just forming friendships with people, it's the same way if you want to be in a relationship, but without all that romance and whatever involved. It takes time. You just can't rush it, right? And I do not want to rush it. Absolutely not. It's just that what bothers me the most is whenever I would form a connection with someone, again, like I explained earlier, they would leave. The same way when I get new planners being planned on this channel, they end up weeding away. What I mean, because again, I used to play zombies, right? It means viewers, right? Because I don't like to people say fans. Well, that word gets overused a lot. So, I don't know. I just should have liked versus zombies. At least the second game, right? But I don't know. I'm not sure this message is across. I'm just so tired, and I'm doing this whole, like when you hide in the corner type of like Native American position. I'm down, right? And then you can down, kind of like how you're just hiding in the corner, like you feel like your shame. It's something like that, right? That is how I feel. If that actually makes sense. So, other than that, I just want to get this out of my system. And again, it's the 14th of November on a Friday. It's 4 weeks. And it'd just be nice to have someone to hang out. I'm really short. There's always something that I've always imagined wanting to experience. I've always wanted to have a piggyback ride. I don't know, by like a tall boy and, like in public and not get, well, of course, that part won't be a problem because I'm really short. Unless I'm lightweight. Yes. How they'll take care of me because we supposed out of state or even out of. Now, you gotta put for us. Like, let's just say my mother has to do the following. Well, I'm not sure sense, but I just want to get this because I want this for ones that do have friends right now. Just keep texting or calling them, but without that makeup stuff, right? It actually makes sense. So, okay, the end of this recording. I just thought I'd get this, and for the ones that have listened to a lot for that, it's killing me, right? I don't know. And just to have my little own group. Also, one thing I do want to say, okay, suicide/depression is not a decision. Okay? It's not. The same way if you're born straight, born white, you know, born autistic, it is not something that you decide. It's not. Absolutely not. Alright, it's 5 a.m. Enough said.